And we're back. Last time in Final Fantasy VI, we survived a dungeon we had no chance of surviving. Somehow. We also got a new party member. We also have more construction outside because reasons. But let's see what we can get through today. King Edgar, this way, please. Do 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 do. Bannon, we brought the girl with us. You see the girl who can talk to espers? Seems the Empire had complete control over her. Carrier pigeons brought word that she wiped out 50 of the best soldiers in a few minutes. That's a lie! Terra? Bannon, she doesn't remember anything! Stay where you are! Perhaps you've heard this story. Once, when people were pure and innocent, there was a box they were told never to open. But one man went and opened it anyway. He unleashed all of the evils in this world. Envy, greed, pride, violence, control. All that was left in the box was a single ray of light. Hope. We now confront these evils, and you are the last ray of light. Our only hope. Bannon! I'm so tired. Let me rest a while. Someone important to me was jailed by the Empire, and I've hated them ever since. I joined the Returners when I realized the Empire was rotten to the core. I wanted to make a difference. But I have no significant other in my life. That's not entirely true. Besides, I'm sure there are people who feel you're important to them. They're counting on you. So you get to work with Terra in this segment. Yay, I got my Phoenix down back. Yay! So you get to kind of walk around and do stuff. Get some treasures. Another Phoenix down. I need those. Air Lancet. I need that. True Knight. Stuff. I mean, it's cool, I guess. I never really use that. It's basically the Knight's cover spell. It's not amazing. And the White Cape. That one's a little better. Wow, she's still wounded? That's sad. I mean, come on, dude. You couldn't have healed her up? And because she's not the one using the sprint shoes, she's the one who has to be slow too. Which kind of sucks. Can I at least sleep in my bed now? No! Sheesh. Oh, it's gonna be fun. I don't remember if I have a chance to do this or not, so I'm not gonna take any chances. I'm not taking any chances. I'm gonna feel stupid if it turns out I can heal myself. Could you... I know there's a thing here. The only thing I can add is you can trust my brother's simplicity. He's always been fair with me. You can trust him. But don't you dare tell him I said that. Someone dropped a scrap of paper. It's an in-joke, I think. If you don't know it's there, it doesn't mean anything, but it's fun if you can find it. Yay, I got my potion back. It's gonna be tough to talk you into helping us. If we push you too hard, we're no different than the Empire. So we want you to make up your own mind. So this is where the game kind of tricks you. It says you could join them, you could not join them. Depending on what you choose, you get different relics. The best relic is by getting the one you don't want. By giving them nothing, by saying no. Again, I don't think I'm leveled up enough to handle this, but... So you give Bannon the cold shoulder a few times, and... eventually you'll get something better for it. Hope? How can anyone put their hope in me? What's going on? What happened? Oh, ugh. Someone did a number on him. So Figaro, Empire took Figaro, coming this way. They found us. We haven't a moment to lose. Lock. I know. Someone has to sneak into South Figaro and slow him down, right? That's right up your alley. Good luck. Terra, please wait for me, and please, don't let a lecherous young king, who shall remain nameless, near you. Lock! Big brother, aren't you ever going to grow up? What are we going to do? We'll escape down the Relief River and make our way to Narsh. I want to see the Esper for myself. Right. There's a raft in the back entrance. It's a gamble, but we're fresh out of options. You're in danger. Come with us to Narsh. You'll probably even gain some understanding of your own abilities. We've no time to dilly-dally. Let's make for Narsh. I understand your unease, but even as we speak, innocent lives are being lost. Please, we need your abilities. This relic will keep you safe. The Genji Glove. Equip 2 weapons. Hooray! Now, there's a reason I didn't save. Because I do not trust myself just yet. Bannon's HP is meh, and this part of the game is meh. Because... if Bannon dies, you die. So I'm gonna save. Because there is a spot where you can power level, and I'm gonna do that. Like, my life depends on it, because it does. And an interesting thing, if you have, like, one of those old-school turbo controllers, and you just find a way to set it down, there is a spot in this game where you can just level up constantly. I've let it run all day, and all night, and it leveled me up to, like, 40. Which is like end game levels. Okay, you want to get rid of Pterodon. But the best thing to do is to level up Bannon a little bit so that he doesn't just die. And especially because he has free healing every turn, you're gonna want to just do that. His attack's not terrible, it's just not great. But yeah, if Bannon dies, you die. Not fun. I'm not gonna worry about where to go. I'm gonna fight regardless, so. This is a good grind spot. And funny enough, you don't need to worry about the blind spell. See, you hit him just fine. It's one of those weird things they should have fixed. You know? It's one of those weird things they should have been able to fix, but they didn't. And instead, oops. I'm gonna have to make sure I hit health each turn. I put it on reset, which for this situation might not be a great idea. But I want Bannon to have at least like 200 HP, maybe. That's what I wanted to avoid. Oh, man. I am so glad I avoided that. Because, yeah, Bandit gains levels like everybody else does. And this is a good way to get Edgar, Sabin, and Terra some levels, too. Man, that is some really bad construction. You ever live in a building and you try to get things done and you just realize, oh God, what is all that noise? I live in Minnesota and in a big city, and it's just like, huh. They fixed one of the main roads a couple of years ago, and then they finally started working on the second main road that cuts through the city, and yeah. But yeah, I also live in Minneapolis, which makes it even weirder. Like, I live in the... I'm not going to get into the specifics, and I really don't want to. But let's just say it's been a weird year for everybody involved, but Minneapolis has had it even weirder. But, you know, everything is... You got to do what you got to do in life, I think. And I've made do. But yeah, one of the side effects of this situation is a couple years ago they fixed one of the main roads. It's probably the main thoroughfare for traffic and buses and such. I was always wondering when they were going to get the next area fixed. And they decided to do it, but it's taken forever. So the entire road right next to my apartment is just wrecked. Right? So if you hear construction or have had heard construction for the last couple of videos, that's why. There's not really much I can do. I will try to make these videos away from that mess next time, but yeah, this is the area that has the that glitch spot. And this is where I'm going to be until Bannon has, like, survivability. So we might be here for about 5 or 10 minutes. But if you wanted to, you could just sit here and fight your butt off. And I've done it. I've let the game run for hours and hours and leveled up to the point where I went from 250 HP to 2200 HP. So yes, if you have a turbo controller and things like that, the old school method, you can do that. Can't check your menu, but because you have health, all you gotta do is make sure Bandon's on health all the time, and you just let him do it. So we're gonna be here a little while, until Bannon is at the point where I don't feel like he's gonna be dead weight. Hopefully it's like a couple levels and it doesn't take too long. He gets to like 200 HP, 225 HP, and then can at least take a hit from the boss coming up. I don't know how long that's going to take. There's Bannon with a level already. So maybe one more level might do. We'll find out. He's going to lag behind everybody else in HP. That's just how it's going to be. $192. I'm still Still not happy with that. Still not gonna go good with that one. I think I'm gonna fight. But this actually gives me a good excuse to talk about that construction again and why it might not show up and why it may not bother people. I said this before. I'm not a super into production and mixing and all that stuff, and you know this is not game related, but it can be. If anybody wants to do a YouTube video or such themselves, I learned a lot about microphones, and the coolest thing is, if you're willing to spend money, you can get a good sound out of just about any microphone. Or you can get a good enough microphone that it just innately has good sound. And I've gotten a lot of people asking about this, and I have the Rode Procaster, but I didn't start with that. I started with just a basic $20 microphone, just a piece of crap that's on one of those mic stands, right? But for anybody who wants to do this sort of thing, you want a boom arm to hold the microphone right up to your face. You'll notice I'm basically eating the microphone. The reason for this is this microphone, more than any other, is very, what's the best word to describe it? Sensitive to noise? And that's because it's what's known as a dynamic microphone. There are two types. If you see what's a condenser microphone, people like to use what's known as the Blue Yeti. I've had one, I like it, but I don't use it anymore. I've also had the AT2035, which is AT2020, which is the one people know. But if you know those microphones, or if you know anything about content creation, you'll know that a lot of people use those types of mics. Anyway, condenser microphone, capsule, all the noise around your building, all that stuff. And you'll see my video change it, but sorry. But it picks up noise everywhere. It just does. It's designed to do that. It picks up ambient noise, it picks up background noise, it picks up fan noise, it picks up everything in your room to give you an authentic sound. And that's nice. And I've had that, and I enjoy it, but if you're willing to spend some money and get a high-end dynamic, which is this Rode Procaster was $200-some, and then you had to spend a good, I don't know, a couple hundred for the other accessories. This is a no-brainer. If you want to cut down background noise in your building, like if you have people around you or if you have people you know, like making noise, or if you're in a construction zone or things like that, this thing is insane. I remember being on Skype calls and things, and if I moved away from the microphone at all, like this, or even if I just moved to the side a little bit, you don't hear it. You just don't hear it at all. And that's insane. Now, to be fair, I also have some noise reduction. You can actually reduce noise in your microphone a little bit. And I know this is getting a little technical, but this is actually a thing I enjoy talking about a little bit. But in recording software or in microphone settings and things, you can actually reduce the background noise of software of the microphone. So that's something you could do. And condenser microphones, you got to do it a lot. Dynamic microphones, not so much. I don't have this set so high that you have to actually cut down background noise that terribly much. So if you don't, I test these after I watch them, so I'm going to check and make sure like construction noise and things don't get heard, because I want to make sure everybody gets as good a sound as possible. But if it turns out that, like, okay, I heard all this construction outside and nobody hears a damn word, it's this thing. The reason is because a dynamic microphone, unlike a condenser microphone, picks up stuff that's in front of it. It's purely designed solely for that feature. And that means that any background noise, any noise rejection is the term, is even better than a condenser. So the rule of thumb that I've heard is if you're in a building that has like acoustic treatment and the paneling and stuff, you've seen them in other videos, like the black crate paneling and stuff, you can get by with a microphone that can make any noise you want it. If you don't, and you live in a building like I do where you hear all this noise outside, pick up a dynamic microphone, and hopefully it doesn't pick up anything except the sound of your voice. So again, let me know if that becomes a thing. I can actually work around that and record in a different time frame, but that's a trick. That's a good idea. If you've never done this sort of thing before and you're ever interested in microphones and getting the best ones, I know there are stuff for cheap. A good resource is Podcastage. He does microphone reviews like all the time. That's not all he does, but that's what he does. That's how I found this stuff out. That's how I learned this stuff. Take whatever resources you can from whatever places you can, but make sure that it's from the right people. And I have definitely ascribed to that. If anybody wants to do this, you know, if anybody wants to be a Let's Player or anything, look that guy up. He will tell you how to use microphones and how you set your levels and all this stuff. And I'm not perfect or anything. That's just where I learned it. But yeah, this can be a tricky thing to learn if you're new to this. But if you're interested in it, and you know the right things, and you learn the right things, and you take the right knowledge from everything, and from the right people, well, you can make anything sound good. I know that was a weird segue, but I'm sitting here fighting the same guys over and over. It's something to get... something to think about if you've never thought about this sort of thing before. So hopefully, in just a general sense, this is a way to, like, learn a few things. Hopefully Bannon levels up, so I don't have to worry about this ever again. Terra Learn Drain. Okay, so Terra learned a level. Bannon should be one more fight. So I'm going to take one more spin around. Hopefully he's got what he needs. This might end up being a longer video than I'd like, but I am going to get to the next area. I'm hopefully going to beat this boss. Because look at Sabin, he's like 320 HP, so he's pretty well handled. I think Edgar, Sabin, and Terra are going to handle themselves just fine. It's Bannon that I'm worried about. Edgar leveled up again, that's even better. And again, I apologize that this might be taking a little too long. But this is important. I don't think this game requires a lot of grinding until way later in the game. But this is one of the few spots where you can do that, and it's actually beneficial that you do that. Because I said this when we started, Bannon dies, you die. It's like Persona 3 through 5. One character dies, you're just boned. There's nothing you can do, there's nothing you can say, you can't revive him, you're done. So, I think that should do it. And there you go. All you have to do is go up to the left, and he will just... That was it. That's this area in a nutshell. They had that up and to the left. If you go up, you get stuck in a loop. 247. That should be okay. Because he's in the back row, right? And if he gets wrecked, he gets wrecked. But he started at what, 142? Now he's at like 247. It was definitely worth the trouble. So I'm going to save again. And yeah, this video is going to be a little longer than the others, but this is the last bit, so Here's hoping that all that grinding was worth it. And to be fair, this game is way easier than Final Fantasy V and even 4 was, so... This is where I feel Final Fantasy tends to go towards the easier side in general. I mean, Final Fantasy VII, you could play through that entire game and never die, outside of maybe 1 or 2 boss fights, if you're unprepared. Final Fantasy VIII, same thing. Certain enemy could wallop you, but other times, no. There are super areas you could die if you wanted, but you shouldn't. 9, I think, takes the games back to a bit higher difficulty, and 10, same thing. Bosses are pretty much the only thing that'll kill you. So, yeah. Super bosses or bosses should kill you. Now, here's a boss. And... what is it? Oh, you don't know. You'll find out. Game over! Don't tease the octopus, kids! I didn't know what voice to give him, it just came out of me. Ow! Seafood soup! I don't think that was the voice I gave him when I played this game the last time. Delicious morsel! Let me get my bib. Ow! Okay, that wasn't fun. Uh-oh. Muscleheads! Hate them! Oh my god, this guy hits hard. Ow! I don't have Phoenix Downs, I'm just gonna have to hoof it. Ow! Hit him again. Ow! Hopefully fire does enough damage. Ow! Keep doing it, it's working. I know the trigger for when this fight ends. It's you fronting me. Oh god, thank god. If I was in front row, I would have been dead by now. Okay, stop hitting me. Stop hitting me. You're hurting me. Oh. That's all, friends. I guess we thrashed it. Don't bet on it. It's probably just hiding from us. Ew! Oh! Something stuck on my leg. Tara, over here. It's all right now. Watch out. I'm gonna hit it with a blitz. No, Sabin. Don't distract me, brother. Whoop-ah! Uh-oh. He's always been a tad zealous. Don't worry about him. You sure he's okay? You should know better than any of us. Any moment he'll flop right onto the raft and... Nope! What the... Seemed a little too perky. Sabin! Take care of yourself. And... he's gone. And so begins yet another reason why Final Fantasy VI is amazing. Edgar and Terra race toward Narshe while protecting Bannon. But what about Sabin, who was swallowed by the raging waters? And how was Locke faring after having penetrated the enemy's defenses in Figaro? Is all according to plan? Choose a scenario, Kupo! So yes, this is one of the other things that Final Fantasy VI does amazingly well. You actually have the ability to choose which characters to move to see which story you do. The plan is to get back to Narsh with all 3 parties. Lox is pretty neat. Get a new character in it. Bannon, Edgar, and Terra, but it's pretty quick. You get it over with. That's probably the one I'm going to start with. Sabin is definitely the most substantial. And Log, where did you level up, dude? But anyway, there we go. But yes. So yes, next time on Final Fantasy VI, 3-way split. Fun times be had by all. Let me save once more, just to be safe, because you can never oversave. And again, thanks everybody for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch if you haven't. My name's Citizen Strife. And we'll be back next week with more Final Fantasy VI.